Jake's POV. Looking around at all the dead Nume, I started to feel nauseous. I quickly picked myself up off the ground and ran away from the carnage. After making it about 20 feet, however, I was suddenly racked with exhaustion and soreness. My face was back in the sand before I knew what happened. Suma, are you there? I said weakly.
Jake, is that you? The real you?
She said over a private connection. What's going on? I'm in the desert and everyone's dead.
You are still in the wasteland, but I saw you disappear. Do you remember what happened?
The dragon, he took my body. Oh my, did I? Looking back at the bodies, my stomach tightened, and I suddenly threw up.
Jake, are you okay?
Suma shouted. No. Can you summon me? I really don't want to be here, I said, looking away from the dead Nume, but still too weak to move. I was lying on my back, looking up at the bright pink sky with dull orange clouds hanging above me.
I do not think that is a good idea at the moment. Do you really not know what happened? She asked, sounding very worried.
I couldn't bring myself to look at the bodies again, but they still appeared in my mind nonetheless. He kill those people?
Most of them, yes. Jake, tell me what you know.
I spent the next few minutes collecting myself, and telling Suma what happened from my point of view. After that, she told me what the dragon did with my body. She did not go into much detail, but she didn't have to. I got a pretty good look at the aftermath. That dragon, Deja, was brutal. Can you get me out of here now? There is something wrong with my body. It's as if I just went through 10 rounds of your healing, followed by 10 rounds with a heavyweight boxer.
I still do not think that is a good idea, Jake. The city guards want you arrested. Do you feel as if you need medical treatment? If so, I will summon you immediately.
At that moment, I felt lightheaded. And despite remaining motionless, everything started to spin. I heard distorted voices like they were underwater, but were slowly surfacing and growing clearer. I don't feel...
Jake? Jake!
Suma shouted. With that, everything went dark. I expected to pass out, but instead, for a moment, I felt like I was waking up. My eyes opened and I looked around. The only thing was, I wasn't the one who opened them, and I wasn't the one looking around. After what just happened, I started to panic, thinking maybe that the dragon had taken control of my body again. But it didn't feel anything like that. Instead, it felt more like I was dreaming. I'm hallucinating again? Now? I thought. Emotions and thoughts started flowing like a river, as if I was the one actually thinking them, except I knew it wasn't me. It was a memory of some kind. I'm going to get such a sunburn, I thought. I would have shaken my head, but I didn't have one at the moment. The memory started with darkness, like a summoning spell. When my eyesight came back, there was a bird standing on the ground looking up at me. Did he say how long he would be? The person, who was probably Zachariah, asked the Nume.
He will arrive shortly. I do ask that you be on your best behavior. This is not like our meetings with the royal court or even the king. Hashem is a close friend of mine, and a very important figure to the dragons. Please be courteous. The Nume, who was probably Amboss, said. I'll be nice. Probably Zachariah said. Thank you. Did your experiments with magic on your world go well? Probably Amboss asked. No, it doesn't work there. At least not like it does here. Perhaps if you improve your skill with it here, it will become easier there? I don't know, maybe. Probably Zachariah's head turned to the side, and he looked around for a moment after hearing an odd noise. Did you hear that? Hear what? It sounds like someone shaking a cloak out. Probably Amboss looked around for a moment, then nodded his head, while looking off into the horizon. Ah yes, here he comes now. He should not be much longer. I guess that is your people's amazing sight. As strong as your magic is, Zachariah, I still do not understand how a species could possibly get by with such poor eyesight. Zachariah, I knew it, I thought. Axes and bows, Zachariah answered mockingly. Less than a minute later, the source of the strange noise became visible. It was two dragons, and the noise was one of their wing beats. They were both massive, but this one was colossal. A dozen of times larger than the horse-sized drake I fought. It was an Eastern-style dragon with a serpent-like body, long whiskers that made up a kind of beard shape, 4 legs with claws at the end, kind of like a cat, and a row of short fins down his back. I don't know how it was flying, probably magic, because it actually didn't have any wings. The smaller one was about 2/3 the size of the bigger one,
and was a stereotypical Western-style dragon. It had 4 legs, huge wings, a long neck, a horned head, and a long tail. It looked more bestial in nature, but the larger one looked more refined. "By Valhalla!" Zachariah said once he realized how huge they were. Dang, that's big, I thought, just as amazed as he was. When the 2 dragons landed, the winged one kicked up a dust storm and landed with a thud, while the wingless one slowly spiraled down until it landed fairly gently. "Greetings, Hashem, and greetings to you as well, Deja," the Nume said.
"Hello, Amboss. It is good to see you again. And you must be Zachariah. I've heard so much about you from Amboss,"
the larger Eastern-style dragon said, and lowered his massive head down closer to us. "Good greetings, Hashem. It is a pleasure to meet the both of you," Zachariah said. "I did not realize Deja would be joining us today, but another dragon is always welcome," Amboss said. The smaller Western dragon did not lower his head down to Amboss's or Zachariah's level, but he did speak. "I was told your familiar had an impressive amount of negative ether. I was intrigued and asked Hashem for permission to join him today." Deja was watching me, or Zachariah, very closely. His voice was raspy and shrill. It was definitely not what I expected to come out of such a powerful-looking body. "Aye, I do, but I'm afraid I've got no talent for it," Zachariah said. Deja cocked his head and lowered it down closer towards Zachariah. "Talent is overrated. I've always preferred skill gained through practical application. You are the only other being I have met with the ability to use negative ether. My name is Deja. It is a pleasure to meet you."